Hi guys, just doing a quick review on Loki. I guess it seems decent. I mean, I feel like this was more of like a setup to the story than, getting straight into things like how, Falcon and the Winter Soldier did with all the action and everything. But really, they kind of used all the action at the beginning with, the first Falcon episode, and the rest of the story was also setting up things. But at least, well, can I even say half? Because yeah, like what these shows do is set up things and then it has a big payoff later on. And that's basically what they did with the first episode of, Loki. So yeah, basically this is set after the events of, well, it's kind of weird to say, but Endgame and a different timeline of Avengers, the first movie. Yeah. If you guys remember what happened in Endgame where we seen that a different version of Loki actually escaped. So he became like a variant, which they call it. Because basically he went off the timeline and basically there's now another Loki out there. And I guess I'll discuss about what else happens at the end, what we find out. But yeah. So yeah, I do think this is a interesting show. Would it be better than One Division or Falcon and the Winter Soldier? From the first episode, I'm not sure yet. It depends on what they do. Yeah. It's definitely interesting. It's definitely different. And we get to see like a better insight in Tom Hiddleston's Loki. We get to truly see how he actually is, because this is the first time we're getting to see like a full focus on him, and we've got Owen Wilson as well, who's a part of these time people who are basically keeping time in balance so it doesn't drift like what Loki did. Yeah. And basically Loki's on trial for going off time, and he gets charged by being reset, and I think that basically fixes the timeline basically, and resets Loki to where he got defeated in the first Avengers movie. But instead, Owen Wilson's character wants to recruit him to defeat someone, which I guess I'll just say it now, himself, because who else knows Loki than Loki? So it makes complete sense why he'd want to recruit him, because when he was in court, he got charged for being reset. So basically, he would go back to his original timeline. But I think the reason why Owen Wilson wanted to get Loki is because like I said, the only person that knows Loki is Loki, and all these people are dying because of this different version of Loki. So yeah, it's like basically two. It's gonna be like two different Lokis in this show, which is cool. I was just expecting one, but okay. Also, there's like a scene where we see Loki in a different outfit. I don't know if that's the Loki that we're following for the whole show or the villain Loki. Okay, it's gonna be weird. The way how they're doing the show, I know it's gonna be weird. But basically, when Loki comes in, he's basically in this desert area. So he's in some other timeline place. And then these time people come and knock out Loki in slow motion, which is a funny scene. Yeah. But yeah. Then they take him to the place, the court thing happens, but then Onrus wants him to work with them. Loki obviously tries to escape because it's Loki, but then he finds the Infinity Stone, well, the Tesseract that he was, looking for, which he stole when he, went off time. Because he wasn't supposed to escape, because, from Avengers to, everything that happened in Infinity War, his life was already planned out, and since he drifted, it kind of caused this situation, I guess. But yeah. Yeah, like I said, Owen Wilson needs him to stop, I guess, a different version of him. And yeah. Also, what else? I don't even know what else to say. But yeah, it's cool to see Loki again. Because was it like, well, we haven't seen a proper scene from Loki since 2018, 2019. We've got a little scene, but it wasn't really that much. Yeah, because he was basically like a prisoner. Yeah, so he couldn't really talk. Because that was like set at the end of the first Avengers movie, like him being locked up and stuff. But then he escapes, and timeline changes. And yeah, I don't think I mentioned that Loki Owen Wilson kind of shows Loki, his defeat and stuff, and trying to basically figure out what kind of person Loki is and see if he understands himself, and he does. And that's why he thinks that, yeah, like Loki, he definitely understands the way how he thinks and how much ego he has and how he thinks he's going to be some great ruler and, what he actually is. And probably, since he actually knows, like Loki knows his weakness, that means he would obviously be able to, defeat himself. Which it seems like that's what the show's going to be about, Loki versus Loki. Kind of like Captain America versus Captain America in, Endgame. That kind of situation. That'll be fun. Seeing Loki fight Loki. That's going to be cool. Yeah. And also, when I guess Loki tries to escape, and he basically finds this TV that's I guess the most powerful thing in the universe because that controls the whole flow of time. Yeah, I'm still trying to work out how things work on this show. Yeah, but then Loki goes back to the place where he was, where Owen Wilson's character was showing some stuff when he got defeated by the Avengers because he also showed his mother's death and he didn't believe that he was the cause of his mother's death, and then seeing his father die, and then seeing Loki and Thor finally truly getting along, and then his death. Loki's seeing his own death by Thanos. Man. But then in the end, he decides to work with Owen Wilson's character and maybe create a new, I guess, destiny for himself, but of this version of Loki because the Loki that we know, died. And this is going to be like a different version, and then there's that one that's out there that I guess is the main threat for this show. And some people are saying that Mephisto's going to be here, but I don't know. Because they were saying that on One Division, but now then for some reason they said it on Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like he's gonna be like the person who's in charge of the Flag Smashers. Like that's funny. I mean, the Kingpin was a cool idea. What some people were saying, but yeah, we all seen who it actually was. But yeah, but yeah, not a bad first episode. What would I rate it? 8 out of 10. I don't know if that's going too high because it feels more like a setup episode than anything else. It was still fun, and seeing Tom Hiddleston again, just playing his iconic character Loki before we got all these amazing Marvel villains because before Loki we didn't really have any great Marvel villains. They was all really bland. But then like 2018 and 2019, that's when it started to get better. I mean, you can kind of count, Vulture in Spider-Man Homecoming like one of the best things about that movie because I'm not really a big fan of the Homecoming movie because it feels too much like an Iron Man movie than a Spider-Man movie, and that's why I like Far From Home better. Yeah, I like Far From Home better because it actually felt like a Spider-Man movie, which to me I haven't had a proper Spider-Man movie since I guess Spider-Man 3 because even though Spider-Man 3 was a bit of a mess, it still felt like a Spider-Man movie. Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, yeah. I'll share my full opinion on those movies soon before Far From Home comes out because I'm going to be reviewing all the movies. And yeah, I still want to review all the MCU movies as well. I'm just not sure when I'm doing that. Is it before Black Widow comes out? Also the Fast and Furious movies. I want to review them before the new one comes out. I'm thinking to watch that in cinemas, but I'll see. But yeah, I guess that was my review of Loki anyway. Definitely a good start. Hoping like what comes next is more, speeds up the pace of, get to see some cool stuff and these different timelines and stuff. Like that's gonna be fun, and who knows if we get to see any other characters from the MCU. But yeah, I guess I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.
One look, the heat is rising, and I've been cold for so long. One touch and we're igniting.